do I ever have sudden urges of like going back to beg my previous employers to give me my job back? Like, is that a thing? Like, it's been 2 months here, 2 months of full-time entrepreneurship and freelancing. I am literally swimming in the deep end, swimming for my life. But do I regret it? Like, what do you think? Like, don't I look happier? Do I look sadder? Do I look overworked? I mean, yeah, today's video is just about that. It's about me comparing my life before when I was fully employed and now when I have to find my own work. Stay tuned. Hey y'all, welcome back to Freelancing Friday. So like if you watched one of my first videos on my channel when I talked about officially unemployed, I did mention that I had been freelancing even before I left my job. But the game is different, y'all. The game is way different when you start doing this thing full time. Like there's so many things that come into play. If you thought you were overworked back when you had a job, that was me. I thought like they were just working me for no reason, calling me after hours and whatnot. I done played myself. Because when it comes to doing this thing, being your own boss is cool. Being your own boss is amazing. But it literally takes over your life. Like it takes over your life in many ways. And it's up to you to keep it here. You know what I mean? One of the things I'm actively trying to work on is basically my productivity, trying to get more work done in less time. Because to be honest, when you're working on your own, like for example with me, I work with a lot of people around the world and people are sending me emails and messages and they're active at different times of the day. And I find myself working literally at any given point in time. I'll wake up at 2 a.m. to go to the toilet and then I'll see an email. Next thing I just like, okay, let me pull out my computer, let me reply. And then I start replying. And I've been doing that. And yeah, I don't want to keep doing that. It's not good for you. It's not good for your health. It's not good for your body. It's just not good because your body needs love. And so that's one thing, that's one of the problems that I've seen with entrepreneurship and not having like, set parameters to work with. And if you have any ideas of how I can I've implemented a few things, trying to work on a scheduling my day and, working with some apps that can help me. But if you have any productivity tools that you can help me with so that I can be better at what I'm doing, please bring it on. Like comment down in the comment section or send me a DM. I'm really open to learning new ways of dealing with my time. I mean, over the past 2 months, initially when I started, it was bad. Like I didn't even know if I was sleeping. Like, I don't know. It was really bad. But I guess with experience, you start being able to do things faster and more efficiently. You know that, okay, if I get this job, this is how I do it, and you get things done. So I think that has also helped me, but I'm still far from where I want to be. I want to be able, I know it's impossible to have like a full work day, like to work 9 to 5 when you're on your own, but I want to get to that and it's possible. Somehow, somewhere, I want it to be like that. I want to be waking up at 2 a.m. to talk to people. I want to have my own personal time. And so productivity is very important to me. And that's something that's the only thing it's not the only thing I miss about like full-time employment, but it's one of the things I miss. It's one of the things I miss, just being able to switch off those emails at 4:00 and know that if whoever sends anything at the end of the day, you don't have to respond to them. It's late, like deal with yourselves. So yeah, there are apps that can help you. Like I told you guys, my bookkeeping app, at least it helps me when clients are making payments and stuff. So I've like got set emails. So it communicates with them on my behalf. Like if you haven't paid me up if your payment is late by like 3 weeks, it'll send you a cordial email that I've pre-written. It follows up for me. And I like systems like that. I like things like that, whereby I can just program it in the beginning. All the heavy lifting is in the beginning. And then after that, it just does everything for me. I think that's one of my biggest complaints when it comes to to this thing. That's the one thing I probably miss my job about. Okay, there are actually two things I miss my job about: getting a salary month end and having set working parameters. Let's get into this whole salary thing. I cannot tell you how much I miss having my money come in on one day. I know this is like counterproductive, counter something. I don't know, it's counter something. But nobody wants to be paid 12 times a year. I get that. And that is true. But there is a danger in receiving numerous tiny payments over the course of the month. It's dangerous. And I say that because that's also one of my biggest struggles. And sometimes I find myself missing back when I would wait for the 28th of the month or the 30th or even the 1st of the month, depending on when they decided to pay us. And all the money would come in immediately and everything would be paid for. I'd pay my rent, I'd pay my Wi-Fi, I'd pay everything all at once. And then whatever's left, if there's anything left, it's for me. Now I have to exercise some serious discipline because I don't always get gigs that amount to the amount that I pay for rent. I don't. And I don't always get gigs that amount to Marty's fees. But my gigs cumulative, like my jobs cumulatively, they get me there. They get me past it. They get me past it, to be honest. But because I will get a job today. Let's say I get a job today and it pays $100. But $100 in my household, it's $100. So I'll be like, nah, let's get Uber Eats today, Marty. Marty and I will order Uber Eats because we're like, it's just $10. It's just $20 that we're spending on Uber Eats. Okay, which is about, 300 Rand is way too much to be spending on Uber Eats. But I spend like 200 Rand on Uber Eats for me and Marty. We get our pizza, we get our drinks. It feels small. But when I start doing my books, I realize that maybe my income for the month is like $2,000. But now we're a week away from paying rent. And I can't even remember what I did with all that money. You know what I mean? Where did it go? Like, okay, maybe I shopped a couple of times on Zando and Superbalist, or, there was that time where I just walked to Checkers and did a grocery where it didn't need to be done. And that's my main problem, because obviously when I started freelancing, I still had a job. So all the money I was getting was for me. You know what I mean? Because my salary would cover all my bills. So all the money I was getting, I'll just put some away, put some in savings. If I feel like, at a whim, I need to go shopping, I'll do that. But now the game done changed, because that same money I'm getting every day is supposed to now cover the bills. It's now supposed to cover the rent. It's not supposed to cover me spoiling myself. That balance has been hard for me. And I've been trying to do certain things and put in, like, every time I get a job, I get a payment, keep those accounts separate. I'm trying to keep a business account and a transactional account and paying myself a salary. That's something that I started doing from this last month. It works, but it's hard because I have access to all the money. But I've told myself, I've given myself an amount, right? And I'm like, okay, so your bills, to cover your bills, you need 10,000 rands. So if you need 10,000 rands to cover your bills, you also need some money to do things for yourself. And then I'll give myself like 2,500 rands. So, and then you'll need money for groceries. And then I'll calculate my groceries and I'll add another 2,500 rands. So basically I'll pay myself a salary based on those parameters. And then everything else that's left over is just reinvested into the business, because it's really hard to set fine lines. Even if it's 100 Rand left in the business, at least it's money left in the business, and it'll go a long way, because there's still a lot of things I need to pay for. To make my music, I need to pay people. To push my music, I need to pay people. To distribute my music, I need to pay people. To make videos, I need to buy equipment. I'm really trying to save up for a camera. I'm trying to save up to redo my house. There's so much I need to do. You know what I mean? So every 100 Rand goes a long way. And that is something, those are hard lessons I've learned, because in the first month, I started panicking. I mean, it was 1 week to paying bills and I'm like, oh my gosh, my rent is due. Oh my gosh, Marty's fees is due. And now I was working day and night to raise that money. And it turned out I had made that money in the first week of the month. So now I just think I pay myself a salary. I keep the money in the bank account. I don't look at it every day. I do my books. The only time I look in that account is to just check, is everything making sense? Is the money is there? The money is not there. So I do have a bank account, South African bank account. And then I also keep some money in PayPal. So I tally the two and I see, okay, is that working? And I only move money from PayPal when actually physically necessary. The South African bank account is for payments locally, but I prefer to keep my money in PayPal, even though that's such a danger because Uber Eats uses PayPal. And sometimes I'm like, let's just order food. The amount of money I spend on food, yo. But what's also helping me is just looking at my receipts. It's humbling. Checkers has this lovely feature whereby every time you swipe your card, your receipt is stored on your profile. I go there and I check, what have I been buying? Because I do nonsense things. I go to Checkers for play. Like, just because I'm bored, let's go to Checkers and see what they have. I know what they have. I walk out of there, I've spent $500. I do that 5 times in a month. And then I go and I do some groceries. That is money. So money management has been a problem. And that's one other thing I miss. But I probably won't miss it when I actually have my finances on lock and I know what I'm doing. So I just miss it for now, but it's not something that I'm going to miss in the long term. You know what I mean? So those two things, I just miss having a safe job and doing it and not having to be everywhere. I'm literally the marketing manager. I need to market. I'm recruitment, even though I'm not recruiting yet, but I'm giving myself a year and I need to start recruiting people. This business gotta grow. I mean, what? But, I'm basically everything. I'm every woman. It's all in me. Anything that I need done, baby, I do it naturally. Oh, that is life. So those are the two things I miss. But I do not regret leaving. I do not miss being reminded every day to be grateful for having a job. I'm already grateful for having a job, but I need to have a job that is grateful to have me. You know what I mean? And I felt like there was no longer that thing. It was not there. There was just one of those, you have a job, be happy. Even if we pay you 5,000, be happy. And I don't miss that. I don't miss being under someone. I don't miss not having creative authority to do whatever I feel like doing that will work. I don't miss that. I am so happy in this space. You have no idea. I am so happy in this space. It is stressful. It is anxiety inducing. I work way harder than I worked before, but I wouldn't change it. I would change a few things, but I wouldn't change the situation, Like I said, I'm still working on a few things. I'm working on my productivity, my finances, everything. I wouldn't change the fact that I'm my own boss. It is so fulfilling and I love it so much. I have zero regrets. But I mean, if the right job comes up and they're like, maybe they want to pay me 100K a month or like 1.5 million, I mean, who am I? Who am I to say no to that? I don't know, man. Would I go back to employment? I probably would for the right paycheck, but it's not something that I'm thinking of right now. I haven't been actively applying for jobs. So it might be a little harder to go back into the game, but yeah, I am happy with the risks that I'm taking because what I see in the horizon is amazing for me. And I think I'll be very happy once I start attaining some of these goals I've set for myself. And I mean, these goals are happening, guys, like especially here on YouTube, guys. I just want to put it out there that you guys are so cool. I don't know, like you guys are just so cool because I've obviously made some goals for me, especially for this channel. And you guys keep going with my goals. Like, I feel like where I've reached right now, I'm really trying to lobby for monetization and to just grow and everything. And when I started, When I started, literally, I had like 200 watch hours, which y'all know is like beyond far away from where you need to be to start making money. I had like 200 watch hours, and the game done changed, y'all. I'm halfway to 4,000 in literally a month and a half. It's not even a month and a half, a month and a few, let's just say a month and a half. I am halfway to 4,000, and I can't even breathe. Like, it's a lot. It's overwhelming. Because I had given myself until December to reach 2,000 watch hours. December, guys. And 1.5 months later, started from the bottom, now we're here. Oh, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. Anyway, let me not divert. So there are a few things you probably need to consider, and things that actually annoy me about entrepreneurship compared to employment. So I'm going to mention those things now, so that if you're also considering being your own boss, you also consider these things, because these are not things that I actively considered, because you might have heard them like in passing. Someone will say, hey, but you don't actually really consider them. You're just like, I just want to be my own boss. I just want to do things on my own. But you don't realize the gravity of what you're doing. So I'm going to get into these things. There are 4 things that I want to talk about today that have stood out the most for me, and that are chest painy. But also, you need to consider that I'm still in the beginning of my journey. So I haven't set up my business as much as I need to for it to be supporting me. So right now, I'm literally my business's support system. That's why maybe everything is a lot for me, and all that. But I feel like with time, I want to create structures that will support me, and the tables will turn. But that's with time. I'm giving myself a couple of years to do that. So the first thing is leave. Paid leave. When you're employed, you get sick days, you get paid leave, you have annual leave that you have family responsibility leave. There are all these leaves that you have that don't exist in entrepreneurship. They do not exist. Every day that you don't work, every day that you are sick, every day that you have to attend a funeral, you are losing money that you could be making. Literally, if you work and you manage to make yourself $100 a day, every day you decide not to work, you are losing $100. If you don't work for 5 days, you've lost $500. If you don't work for 7 days, you've lost $700. So you can't even catch COVID out here, because if you catch COVID, you're not going to be able to pay your bills. So like I was saying, I need that structure to be able to just have money lying around somewhere to just be able to capture me when I need it. We will get there. We will get there. We will get there. Number 2 is the set parameters. You don't have a job description with entrepreneurship. You are everything, like I was saying. You're the marketing manager, you are recruitment, you are literally doing the actual job, you are everything. Customer services, whatever, you are it. Business development, everything. You are it. You're every department. You're even HR. Whereas with employment, obviously you get that job description that tells you this is what you do. And you can call out people for making you do things that are not on your job description. I can't do that. And it's really hard. It's really hard, because sometimes you just want to delegate. And delegating means you have to now hire somebody else or outsource to another freelancer, which is what I prefer doing. It actually works for me rather than having to pay someone a set salary. I'm not there yet. So I work actively with other freelancers, and we work together. We collaborate until we cannot collaborate anymore. And that works for me the most for now. But I do want to get to a point where I'm actually creating employment opportunities for people. And pray for me. Pray for me. We will get them. Number 3 is obviously specialization. Like I said, with a job, you literally have a job description and you get to specialize in that one thing. With entrepreneurship, you're not able to really specialize. My specialization is music, but I find myself having to do things that are outside music all the time. So I need to find a way to make my time work for me to still focus on the things that I like, to still focus on the actual music, to be making the music that I love to make. Like you see right now, I probably spend a lot of hours making YouTube content. I spend a lot of hours doing people's orders. I spend a lot of hours doing voiceovers. So I need to find that time for me to specialize in my actual music career and to push it and to not let it dwindle away and die in work, because now I'm just basically the same as someone who's employed in a job they don't like, because you know what I mean. So that specialization is something that I miss, just being able to do the one thing that you want to be doing and focus on that and better yourself in that. And I guess once I have structures, that'll come. Number 4 is the income. Like I mentioned, I miss just getting all my money at once and being able to make a plan and be like, this is what needs to be done, this is what needs to be done, this is what needs to be done. Right now, actually having a plan helps me in many ways. I have little notes in my notes. Notes are my friend. I have little notes where I write down everything that I need to buy and how far I am to getting it and whatnot. That has helped me so much, because every time I get some money, when I pay myself my salary, I know exactly what I'm going to do with that money. And that's something that you can do even with a salary, with a job. So yeah, and writing things down is your friend. Like, I mean, you get so overwhelmed in this game that you even forget things. Sometimes I look at the list of things I've written down, and there are things on that list that I was not going to rethink again. I was not even going, they were not going to come back. They were gone out of my head. And because you're doing so many things at the same time, it's good to always have things written down. Always keep a record of any idea that you get. I have this thing where actually, even if I get it in the middle of the night, I wake up and I jot it down in my notebook next to my bed, and then I'll wake up and I'll transfer it to my computer. But you need to keep a record of everything that you're thinking about. It's so important. Thanks again for coming back to my channel for another episode of Freelancing Fridays. There is a corresponding blog for this video. Check the link down below. Just check out my website. All my music is there. All my vlogs and blogs are there. You can even watch my YouTube content from there. Subscribe to my newsletter as well. I'll be starting a newsletter as of September. So check that out. And yeah, thank you for coming back. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and let's chat. Let's get the conversation going. I'll see you again next Friday. Hopefully next Friday. Oh yeah, next Friday is Friday. It's the 4th Friday of Freelancing Fridays, which is so nice, guys. I love the feedback I'm getting from you guys. I've gotten feedback in the past week. A couple of people who found my Fiverr episode very helpful. If you have any questions, if you need further help from me, DM me, comment below, and I'll be honest and I'll do the best I can to assist you with the knowledge that I have. So keep that feedback coming. Send me screenshots of your orders. Send me all this stuff. It's really, really uplifting when I get to see that I'm making a small impact, even small. I'm making a little impact in some people's lives. And that is the point of this channel. That is the point of this series, because it was really weighing on me, because obviously I look at how my videos are doing, and there's certain videos that perform better than other videos. And for me, obviously my freelancing series was at the bottom. It was like, at the bottom. And I found myself questioning, is this even worth it? Do people even want to do this? And then all of a sudden I just started getting feedback. I think I've gotten feedback from like less than 5 people, but that literally made my whole week, and I was back at it. I'm like, yes, I need to do more videos. And it's so exciting because I really want to make wholesome content. I want to make content that people can actually just watch, and it'll help them with their day. It'll help them with their struggles as well, because this world is rough. It's rough. So don't hesitate to come and tell me if anything works, if any of my pointers work for you. Just come and tell me, like DM me, comment on a video. It literally makes my day. I love you for watching, and I'll see you soon.